Well, some of the world's best chamber musicians make the Banff Centre home for at least a time. And when they come here, they bring the music that they have been playing, in some cases for decades, championing the music of the great masters here in this mountain arts retreat. That is certainly the case for Éric Le Sage. The French pianist has been performing in the world's finest concert halls and with some of the greatest collaborators for many years, and has now brought his talents here for many years as well, coaching students in the art of specifically the French music school, but also so many other composers from so many other traditions. Thank you so much for taking the time, Éric. This is so wonderful to be able to speak to you about this. First of all, maybe you can tell us about when you first came here to the Banff Centre and what your first impressions were about making music here in Canada.
Okay. I first came here, in fact, 40 years ago. Yeah, to meet my girlfriend at this time. She was studying in the Banff Centre.
No
the
kidding.
Beginning of Banff Centre. Yeah, it's a long time ago. But seriously, I was there for professional reason last year. It was an amazing memory. I just have time to stay 1 week, but it was nice to meet this old musician professional, of this young professional musician, and to help them in different repertoires. So I decided to come 2 weeks this time to save a little more time.
What do you remember about those first impressions that you had of the Banff Centre when you came here 40
of course,
years ago?
it's the mountains. You know, of course, you arrive here and the air is pure and the nature is fantastic. And last year it was a big shock because it's changed a lot in 40 years. You know.
Yeah.
a lot. I didn't recognize anything except the mountain. We didn't change. But yeah, what is amazing here is all is there to have a wonderful experience. It's between you have nothing to think of, just music, because everything is organized. You have room, you have good piano, concert hall, and a lot of occasion to play for students. No, it's a perfect place to be for the students.
And it seems like a very relaxed place for you to make music. It's been fascinating watching you perform here over the last little while, and how relaxed you seem as a performer when you are sharing the music of any number of composers, from Janacek to Brahms, but also Ravel and all these other French masters that you have been championing for all these decades. What is it like to make music here with your colleagues versus maybe in another place in the world?
Yeah, no, when I play, I try to people not to be stressed by my playing. So it's good if I seems relaxed, even if I am not inside. But when you play, you have to transmit music. So yeah, if public say you are stressed, so perhaps they don't receive music as well as they can be. So I try to play and to teach more relaxing. Relaxing is not the right term, but a good way to transmit the music in the best way. So, what's your second part of the question?
Well, I was just wondering, what is it like to make, like when you're collaborating here? How is that different than if you're making music in a different part of the world?
Because here in this specific program, I have to collaborate for the first time with Songwon, the cellist, and it was I knew him for decades, but we never played together. So it was it's nice to also to meet new musicians. So I play a long time with Paul Meyer or Magali, and also it was very nice to coach this young trio with Taillefer, French. In fact, it was a French trio I didn't know. I know the composer, but it was discover for me. So thanks, Banff, to make me discover some repertoire.
Learn something new all the time.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
I didn't learn. I learned a little bit to be able to teach, but I didn't really learn. But it was nice discover. And for this week with Amy Beach, the song with trio, which is very, very sweet and a nice discovery. I didn't know. So for me to transmit the French music learning I had, because first I am French and I play a lot of French repertoire, especially for Poulenc, Debussy, this big one. It's our job. And I play also a lot of Schumann, which is my favorite composer. So it's good when you knew a composer very well. and you want now. I am 60. You want to transmit a little bit of what you learn, because all these long years, because it's a long process, and in fact it's a not finished process to learn and to transmit. And when you transmit, also you learn from the student, and it's energy going up, through the student to me, and for the musician. So in this specific place in Banff, you can feel there is a lot of energy between people.
Yeah. So you talk about the learning that you have done here from not only from the students, but also in the repertoire as you learn new music by Jimin Taillefer, but also you are the one passing along so much of your learning from your career about especially these French masters to this next generation of classical musicians. How do you think that transfer of knowledge about composers like Poulenc, Debussy, Ravel makes maybe works better in a place like this, or works different in a place like this than if you were to teach this repertoire, say at a conservatory or somewhere like that? In other words, what is it about this place that makes that repertoire more fun more interesting to engage with than maybe it is if you were just in a classroom going to school?
Yeah. Of course, it is not a classroom spirit. You have time, because there is a few students. You have time to do what they need, what they want, and but specifically to teach. We are not in an academic cursus here, so we don't have to teach a piece to be played with a note. So we can just take time to learn in specific something. It can be a phrase, the harmony, the way of playing, the sense of color for students. So as it's a very free, relaxing place with a professional piano and room, so it's perfect. And I think the students are very receptive, because there is no rules, and just opportunity to learn and to share. Me, I'm very happy to teach, because when I teach, I learn also. So it's a double win.
Yeah, absolutely right. Everybody wins. What do you take away from being in a place like this back to the rest of your schedule, performing all over the world?
But you have nothing to think about just music, because there is a restaurant, there is nature. You just have to organize your day, to keep a little bit free to hiking or to visit. Sure. And the rest is just pleasure to meet and to make music together. And also to play this new repertoire, as we do with the Blarer, the first concert. I didn't know this piece with trumpet and trombone. It was very nice to discover.
Yeah, absolutely. How does the color of music written by the Poulenc, Debussy, Ravel, Taillefer, how does the color of that music change when you're playing it in this space versus when you're playing it in different parts of the world?
No, it doesn't.
It doesn't change?
It doesn't change. Every change all the time, You never do the same thing all the time. If you are, I can imagine if you are more relaxing, you have a good instrument, and people are just here for pleasure to listen to you. There is no pressure. So perhaps the way to music changes in a good way. But the sound itself, when you play this music, you have to come close of the idea you have of Ravel, Debussy, Fauré, or Schumann. It's our job of interpreter is just to take a text and to learn it in a way we can transmit it in the best way. The best way doesn't mean the more academic way to do what is written at 100%. It's like an actor. When an actor play Hamlet, if it's a from Scotland or Ireland or American or even French, and with a different physique, he will give different approach to Hamlet, and all will be good if he's a good actor. And for us, it's the same. You have different aesthetic of sound and aesthetic of phrase, but you have always to reach the text, and the text is like a jazz. It's a there is a big way to be free in a written text. So sometimes people doesn't know this. They don't understand. We play just what is written.
Yeah.
But no, we play what is written. But this written is just opening windows to freedom. So it's exactly as you play jazz. You have some chords, and in this chord you play your own music. And I know our Windows is closed, but when you pass this Windows, after it's a completely big world.
Right, big world out there. That world has, I'm sure, changed a lot since you were first sharing these works over the last number of decades. And now that world, because it's changed so much, maybe there are certain approaches to this music that are different because the world has so much changed. The people who are coming up next. You're talking about before you're transmitting this knowledge, you're sharing this knowledge with students now. How do you think playing this music will change as the world continues to change faster and faster and faster?
I don't know. Of course, different approach to music. Also for young generation, they learn a lot of, through the media, and so what you have to learn is to take time to go deep to some repertoire, because it's good because now me too, with the phone, the computer, and you have all the music, all the knowledge of the whole world at once when you want. So after you have to make a choice to give you a chance to go down to go deeply in some composer, some music, some kind. It's not the world is changing, but is I don't know if it's changing in good and bad. When you're getting old, you have always a feeling it's getting bad, but I don't think it's true. But sometimes it's better time or no. But for music, just you have. I can say you have a chance to listen everything everywhere for no money. It doesn't cost a thing to take a score from EMSLP and to listen from any kind of. So now we have a lot of free time to go deep in the music. But it's difficult. The world is going so fast, so it's difficult to take time to.
There are the composers that you play that are quite good at slowing down the time. I think about Poulenc is the opposite example. If I think about like this perpetual motion of his music.
Poulenc is very active,
very active. But then on the opposite,
perhaps Fauré is in a long way.
Sure.
Or even Schumann, who was a very passionate guy who died quite young at 46. But sometimes in the music, music is the only art dealing with time. So when you play music, the time is out. So you have to deal with this. But it's something very mysterious music. Why sometimes you listen to a piece, it seems very long, or because it's bad, or bad play, or it's boring. But sometimes you have time. You have a feeling of the time is disappear when you play music, especially in this French. Fauré, Debussy, which is between tonal, atonal, and there is no form as in the classic or romantic music, and the music is just happening.
Yeah, you mentioned before, we haven't really even discussed your Schumann playing. Of course, you mentioned your favorite composer, and you did those celebrated recordings for the 200th a few years ago now. It occurs to me that the pieces that Schumann wrote, while very passionate towards in the earlier years, as we get into the later years, there's a lot of space that finds their way into his music. And looking at all of the space just outside that window over there, like I think about that Gesänge und Frühe that we were talking a bit about before. How do pieces like that speak to you in this experience here in the mountains?
If you speak about Gesang der Frühe, I was teaching this 2 weeks ago to a good friend a good student in Freiburg, and this piece is really when the feeling of time is disappear. You can play this first one we spoke about, which is fantastic. And when I was practicing 20 years ago for recording, when I finish to play this piece, I have to go back to play it back. Like if you can play this 10, 20 times, it's like if you smoke something very, make you very high. Like if you see this mountain and you play this Gesang der Frühe and you want to play again, and it's like a drug.
Yeah, all right.
So it's a really a feeling of time disappear.
Yes.
So, but don't take the
No,
drugs.
be safe.
Play Gesang der Frühe.
Yes.
For 10 times is the same effect.
That's right. Don't do drugs, play Schumann.
No.
Words to live by here at the Banff Centre for sure. Éric Le Sage, this has been such a delight. Thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us, and thank you so much for being here at the Banff Centre.
Thanks.